legacy of humanity. His message burns. Forge by forge, destiny unwound. Oblivion awaits! You are seen.
Hello and welcome back to another build video. Ever since GGG showed us the Wyvern form, I just knew that I had to do a build around it, because I think it looks absolutely amazing. And right now I'm at the point where I feel like it's performing very well, so let's get into it. Let's go over the skills and support gems. So the main skill we are using for mapping or regular mobbing is Rend, and this is the basic attack in the Wyvern form. And whenever you consume a power charge, you can actually infuse this skill. That gives you a buff, so you get 50% of damage gained as lightning. You lose out on a little bit of attack speed, but you do get 150% more area of effect. So this skill, as you can see now, is kind of whatever, not something special. But whenever you infuse it, you get a big damage increase and a big AoE increase, which turns this skill into an actual mobbing skill or mapping skill. For the support gems, we are using Rapid Attacks 2, so we get increased attack speed. We use Magnified Area 2, so we get even bigger area of effect. And we have Pinpoint Critical. This build is scaling crit chance and crit damage, and Pinpoint Critical gives us 60% more crit chance. We do get 30% less crit damage bonus, but that's okay, because we are offsetting that in different ways I will get into. So Elemental Armament 2 is another good support here, 25% more elemental attack damage. And then we use Overextend, and this is dazing us for 5 seconds, but the big thing here is that we get 30% more crit damage bonus. And since Pinpoint Critical have less, and this has more, they kinda offset each other to balance it out. And currently sitting at 86% crit chance with 405% crit damage bonus. And then we have the main skill for bossing and harder enemies like tough rares, abysses, breach, whatever. It's Flame Breath. And this is like the main reason why I wanted to do a build around the Wyvern form, because I think this skill is one of the coolest skills in the game visually. And actually very, very strong as well. So Flame Breath can also be infused when we consume a power charge. And we also get 50% of damage as lightning damage on this one, exactly the same as Rend. But we also get another benefit, and that is that the cost of Rage is 50% less. Because whenever you use Flame Breath, you have an initial cost of Rage, and then if you want to extend the skill's duration more than 4 seconds, you need to spend Rage to do that. And as you can see down here, we are sitting at 70 max Rage at the moment. So the skill costs 9 Rage to use with 496 mana. And whenever we want to extend this more than 4 seconds, we need to spend 11.92 Rage per second. And with a 70% Rage, we have quite a few seconds of channeling this skill, and it's more than enough to kill everything that we want to kill with it. For the support gems, we have Elemental Armament 2, more elemental damage. We are using Burgeon 2, and this gives us 40% more damage whenever we are channeling. We also have Pinpoint Critical here, same reason as we had on Rend, and Overextend. Once again, same reason. And we have Rakiata's Flow, which is inverting the elemental resistances. It's a very, very good support gem, but it's more on the expensive side. So if you don't have this, I would recommend to use Rapid Attacks 2 instead, because Flame Breath actually scales really well with attack speed, attacks per second. And same thing here, we are sitting at 86% crit chance with 405% crit damage bonus. And we have 19 attacks per second, which is pretty damn good. And we are using Herald of Ash as well here. And this is more of a like helping us with clearing, It does pretty good damage, looks very cool when it procs. And here we use Magnified Area 2, we use Fire Mastery to give it another level. And then you see that we have Berserk here. And I usually don't use this, except for pinnacle bosses or really strong bosses in general. So what I usually do is that I deactivate Herald of Ash, because we can't proc that during boss fights anyway. And then activate Berserk. And what Berserk does is that it drains our life quite a lot, quite fast. So you're gonna have to pop some potions every now and then to offset that. But we do get 67% increased rage effect, which is pretty good damage increase. And then we have Trinity. Trinity gives us 5% more elemental damage per 30 resonance of any type. And we are dealing fire and lightning as our main elemental types. But we do have some cold in the build as well. So we are always keeping up max resonance on both fire and lightning. And sometimes we get some cold as well. And you get 15% increased skill speed, while total resonance is over 250, which is pretty good, because the build feels very nice with a lot of attack speed, skill speed. For the support gems here, we're using Fire Mastery and Cannibalism. Cannibalism gives us 2% of max life recovered when we kill an enemy, so it's kind of good during mapping, you know, we can sustain our life, don't have to pop potions every time we take damage. And then we have Devourer, and this is the main skill to get power charges during regular mapping. So this one can consume either corpses or enemies that are like on low life, like cullable enemies. And whenever you do that, you get 1 power charge per enemy or corpse consumed. You also get some life regen, so this is a pretty nice skill whenever you are, let's say you're in a big group of enemies, you kind of panic a little bit, you see your health going down, just press Devour along with a potion, you're gonna be on max life in like a split of a second. And yeah, this is the main skill for power charges. Here we have rapid attacks too, so we can use it faster. We have Thrill of the Kill too, and this is kind of interesting because whenever we use this on a cullable enemy or culling an enemy with it, we get 25% of damage as lightning for 8 seconds, and this applies to all our skills. And we also get 40% increased shock chance. And then we have Holy Descent, and this is giving us consecrated ground for 4 seconds whenever we are landing. And the consecrated ground is giving us life regen. So we regen 5% of max life per second. So yeah, getting life regen whenever we consume a corpse, and whenever we land on the corpse we get even more life regen. So using this from every now and then outside of getting power charges is pretty good life sustain. And then I have Fist of War 2, and this is to ancestrally boost the skill. It does pretty good damage, as you can see here, and ancestrally boosting it gives it 30% more and also bigger increase to area of effect. And then I have Entangle, and I don't use this very often. Reason why I have this slotted in is because I did use it until I had my crit chance up to a decent amount. And why we use this is because we have a secondary weapon set here with Effigy of Cruelty. And this one is applying stacks of critical weakness whenever it critically hits. So what I did was that I used this to boost my crit chance on boss fights as an example. Now when I have decent amount of base crit, then I'm not using it that much, but it's still a nice skill. So here we use Prolonged Duration 2 to increase the skill effect duration. And then Branching Fissures, so we get 2 additional fissures basically. We use Surrock's Revolt, and this gives us a seal, and whenever we are at max seals, when we cast a skill it reoccurs. And then we have Efficiency, and this is to reduce the mana cost of the skill, because Flame Breath also has a mana cost. And we don't want to end up throwing this one out and not be able to use Flame Breath afterwards. so that's why. We use slow potency here because entangle on a base, the vines here are actually slowing the enemies by 15%, and the slow potency increased that with another 15%, so basically 30% slow. The only downside with this skill though is that whenever you go, like now you can see I'm in human form, I have 43 rage. If I cast this and then switch to my dragon form, I have to wait a few seconds to actually regen back to max rage. So be a little bit careful with that on bosses so you don't end up casting this and then immediately flame breath, because then your rage is not going to be enough to maybe sustain the whole fight basically. And then we have Pounce, which is a skill from the werewolf form. And the reason we have this is because we can get power charges on bosses very easily with this one. Since Devour requires a corpse or a callable enemy, we can't really use that during boss fights. So that is why we have Pounce. And here we have Culmination too, and this makes us able to get combo points with the skill. And then we have Eyelid's Chimes, which gives us, or have a chance to give us a power charge whenever we're expending the combo. So what we do on bosses is that we hit it at least 4 times with Rend, and then we pounce on the boss, and that is going to give us at least 1 power charge to empower the Flame Breath as an example. We also have Rapid Attacks too here, so we use it faster. And then we also have Holy Descent here, which is giving us the Consecrated Ground, same as on Devour. And then I have Wing Blast here, and there is one reason for that, and it's because I don't know about the other forms, I haven't really played them that much, but the Dragon form gets stuck in terrain a lot. Especially if you have like a enemy or a body close to a wall or something, and you devour that body, you're gonna be ending up stuck in the wall. And the only way to get out is to use a skill that moves you away from the wall. So you can either use Pounce or Wing Blast. So that is basically the only reason why we use it. And we also have Herald of Thunder here, and this is also same concept as with Herald of Ash. It's to help with regular map clearing, area of effect. Here we have Elemental Focus, so we get 25% more elemental damage. We do have Concentrated Area, and that gives us more area damage. We have Lightning Mastery to give it another level. And we have Maim. And Maim is applying slow, so 30% slower movement speed, and reduced evasion rating, but mainly used for the slow. So yeah, that's it for the skills. Let's take a look at the gear. And for the gear, we are obviously using a talisman, and you can go 2 ways with the talisman. You can go elemental damage or physical damage. We have went for the elemental damage way because it's cheaper, and it also translates very well to our Trinity Spirit Gem, which is a big damage multiplier. The 2 main things you want to look out for though, or 3 main things, either you go the physical or elemental, doesn't really matter, but you want to have as high crit chance as you can get, and as high attacks per second as you can get. You also want to make sure that you have attack skills on it and not melee skills, because attack skills scale with both Rend and Flame Breath. And you want the base type that gives you maximum rage, because maximum rage gives us more damage and also able to channel Flame Breath for longer. So try to look for something similar to this one. And for the helmet we are going full energy shield. That's the only defensive layer we have on the build. I was trying to do armor energy shield hybrid, and it worked pretty good, but there are reasons to why we went full energy shield that I will get into when it comes to the passive tree. So for the defensive body armors, helmets, gloves, boots, whatever, you want to look for as much energy shield as possible, and resistances, max life is pretty good. For the helmet specifically, you want to get crit chance as well, and try to squeeze in some rarity too. It's always good to have as much rarity as possible. And for the body armor, same thing here. As much energy shield as you can get, resistances, max life. And here we have faster start of energy shield recharge. And I've mentioned this like so many times in previous build guides, but I'm gonna mention it in this one as well. Whenever I build energy shield builds, I try to get as low recharge delay as possible. So getting affixes like faster start of energy shield recharge helps quite a lot with that. It's not mandatory though, but it's a feel-good thing. For the boots, you want to have energy shield here as well, resistances, rarity, and as much movement speed as possible. For the gloves, you want to look out for flat damage. So here we have physical and fire. We also have increased attack speed, which is pretty good for the build. And otherwise, you need like rarity, resistances, max life, stuff like that. For the belt, we have triple resistances, max life, and we also have increased stun threshold. And it's pretty important to have this because we are not that high on life. So having more stun threshold is feeling pretty good. It helps. It's not mandatory though, but it feels good. And for the rings, you want to have as much flat damage as possible. So here we have fire, cold, lightning, and then resistances. So try to find something similar to this. If we would have had rarity here, that would have been even better. And we are using Calandra's Touch, which is mirroring this ring right here. And reason why I bought this is because this ring is pretty good, except that it doesn't have rarity, but it fills all other, or checks all other marks. And Calandra's Touch is mirroring it, so basically duplicating it. And Calandra's Touch is actually cheaper than buying another ring like this. So yeah, it's a good option. For the amulet, you want to have critical damage bonus, resistances, and rarity. If you can get +2 melee skills here, that would be pretty good as well, because that applies to Rend. But I don't feel like we need it in this build, and if we wanted that, the ring would have been a lot more expensive. And we also have increased the maximum energy shield here, which is pretty good. And we are allocating Cooked, which is giving us 60% increased crit damage bonus, but we do get 25% reduced defenses. So it's a kind of a bad trade-off, but works pretty well with the build. And for the charms, as you can see, we have 2 slots here that we can't place anything into because of the ascendancy that I will get into very soon. But we do have 1 open slot, and I went for the freeze charm here because it feels really bad to get frozen. And we could have went for a stun charm, but stun charm doesn't seem to apply to like light stuns or soft stuns. So it doesn't help with that, only hard stuns, which is not happening as much as freeze does, for me at least. So that's why we went for this one. And for the passive tree, we are Shaman Ascendancy, and we are going for Sacred Flow, and this gives us +40 to Spirit for each empty charm slot that we have. That's why we did have 2 empty charm slots, because we need the Spirit to fit in all the Spirit skills or Spirit gems that we want to use. And let's say you don't want to use this, you are fine without Herald of Ash or Herald of Thunder, then I would probably go for Avatar of Evolution. But it feels very, very good to have both Ash and Thunder, so that's the reason why we use Sacred Flow. If you would have gotten Spirit on your amulet or body armor, you could have not taken this, but getting that with proper defenses and stuff like that gets pretty expensive, so this is a cheaper way of doing it, but there are options to go around this, basically. We go for maximum rage. This one, rage applies to spell damage, doesn't affect us, we don't do any spells. Another max rage. And here we get Furious Wellspring, which gives us even more max rage, no inherent loss of rage, and we also regen rage per second, 6% of our maximum. And this is very good because whenever we are, mapping whatever we do and not channeling our Flame Breath, we always gonna be at max rage. And the plus rage is also nice because it gives us more damage and able to channel the Flame Breath for longer. Our skills do have 5 to rage cost though, but that's totally fine. It's no big deal at all. And then we go for elemental resistances, plus 3. Kinda useless actually. But we go for reactive growth, and this is actually good. So we get 10% less elemental damage taken, and we adapt to the highest elemental damage type of each hit you take, and 10% less damage taken for each elemental type per matching adaptation. So it's a pretty good defensive tool for elemental damage types. And we are going over here for some attack damage. We get 10% attack damage and 5% damage as extra of a random element, along with some attributes. We go here for increased area of effect. We go up here for some crit damage bonus, area of effect, attack damage. We go down here for crit chance while shapeshifted and increased skill speed while shapeshifted. We go all the way up here, grab a jewel socket. Go down here for some increased crit chance. We go down here and we get +2 max rage while shapeshifted. We go all the way down here for another jewel socket. We get some crit chance and crit damage bonus over here. We path in here to the right. We go down, get some increased attack damage, area damage, and stun build-up as well. Then we go here for even more crit chance and crit damage. We go over to the left, grab another jewel socket. We go up here to get even more skill speed while shapeshifted and crit chance while shapeshifted. And we also get plus or gain 8% of damage as extra cold, which once again helps with Trinity. And then we go up here for elemental damage and also +5 to elemental resistances, but mainly for the elemental damage. We go to the right, we go down here, faster start of energy shield recharge and increased energy shield recharge rate. We go down here for increased maximum energy shield and also stun threshold equal to energy shield. Down here for, again, faster start and recharge rate and increased maximum energy shield. We go over here, even more max energy shield. Go down here for all the crit chance and crit damage. Down here and up to the crit damage and crit chance. Down here for even more crit chance. We go here for increased attack speed. And we finalize the pathing for even more crit damage. And as you guys can see here, we have 1.37 seconds to energy shield recharge delay, and we recharge 988 per second. I would like this to be a little bit higher, but yeah, I don't want to sacrifice damage to get this because it still feels very good to have. And we are capped on resistances. We are actually over-capped by quite a lot. And almost 4,000 under shield with 1,700 life. So the build is not the best, like, defensive-wise. We could work a little bit more on that, or if we want to sacrifice some damage for defenses. But offensive-wise, it's very, very good. And for the jewels, you want to look out for crit chance, crit damage, and here we have increased energy shield recharge rate. We also have magnitude of shock. We are consistently applying shock because we have so much lightning damage, so this one actually helps with that. And then we have a Heart of the Well diamond. And if you want to get something like this, you want to look out for either skill speed or attack speed. Gain damage as extra either fire, cold, or lightning. And increased crit damage bonus. We also have increased cooldown recovery rate, but doesn't really matter. I mean, Flame Breath do have a cooldown, but the 3% here is not anything. Here is another jewel we have with crit chance, crit damage. Also, we went for area of effect here. And the minions is dead stat here. So when you are looking for jewels, regular jewels, you want crit chance, crit damage, area of effect is nice, energy shield stuff is nice, and Heart of the Well can get a little bit expensive depending on what type of modifiers you want on it, but if you can get something like this, that would be very good. That is going to be it for the build guide. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section. And I also want to say that I'm live every day on Twitch, so if you have any questions regarding this build or any of my other builds, you can come by and I'm more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much, see you next time.
Down, beast! Nature takes what's owed! Wilds take ya!